Oh, it says preparing now. Right, hello everybody. We are live on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully you've joined to find out everything you need to know about Leeds School Uniform Exchange. I'm Jill Coupland, I'm from Zero Waste Leeds, and I work together with the amazing Tracy Morgan, who joins me. She is the Leeds School Uniform Project Coordinator and knows everything there is to know about uniform exchanging across the whole of Leeds. And we are joined by the equally amazing Jenny from Fresh Start Community organisation in community projects in Morley, who runs the most successful community-based school uniform exchange in the city and is just inspirational. So if we will dive straight in, I think what we'd really like to do, we get loads of questions all the time. I think people, they've heard of Leeds School Uniform Exchange, they don't exactly know what it means or how to find out more information. So we'll cover all of that off today. So I'll take you through the website and how to use it. But if we just give you some headlines, we've now got, is it 241 exchanges across the city, Tracy?
It's actually gone up. It's now 252. So it's ever increasing nearly on a weekly basis, which is great news.
That's amazing. And that's probably because we've just been joined by a new community-based one in Temple Newsham. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that what happens is that Leeds School Uniform Exchange is a series of things that are happening across the city. So some of the exchanges are online, so that's amazing. Parents and schools across the city who've set up maybe a Facebook group, which is an exchange for local parents. So we've got loads of Facebook groups on there. And then we've got exchanges that are actually based at schools, which is great because the uniform is where it needs to be. And then we have these amazing community groups, which and we're creating now a network of those across the city, are doing the most fabulous job. The amazing thing about the community groups is that they have huge stock of uniform, which will cover a lot of schools around their area. And when you go to one of their pop-up shop events, it's like walking into a school uniform shop because, Jenny, you have mountains of it. Is that right?
Oh, we probably still have more than we actually gave out this summer in boxes in our storeroom.
And you gave out a lot, because I think it's probably more than this, but you were able to count, this is just this summer, just this 6-week holiday over the summer, 5,000 items of school uniform.
Yeah. So from the Breeze event that we attended, and we did 2 weeks worth of pop-up shops, we noted down 5,000 items. We will no doubt have missed the ones that we gave out in between that and before and after. But equally, as people were taking it, people were bringing it in, which is the only way you can survive and do it. But my hope was to have an empty storeroom by the end of the summer. And that never happened.
So you're based at the Church of the Nazarene, which is in a cracking location because it's in the middle of the car park of Morley Morrison's, which means that people can park right outside, or there's loads of buses in and out to Morley, and people can call into your pop-up events. But you also run a regular charity shop, so you are able to, if people want uniform, they can get in touch with you, can they?
Yeah, so the way we run ours is we started off with the pop-up shops, obviously, initially in the lockdown, and that's how we get rid of high volume items. But we have our community charity shop, which is open 3 days a week, and we have it advertised in the building that we have the uniform exchange, and they just ask if we've got it. We'll note it down. I have a team of lovely ladies who manage it all for me, and will rummage through and pick and obviously make sure people get enough, because we don't want you having to wash. So if you ask us for a reception's uniform, you will get 5 tops and 5 bottoms, because they won't make it messy. And then we just arrange for them to collect it. So although we may not be as visible with it outside the pop-up shops, it's ongoing, and people can ask at any point, because you never know when your child will outgrow what they've got.
How many schools do you cover, Jenny?
We cover all of the Morley ones, so all the primary schools and the secondary schools. So I think at a quick count, that's about 15. But then we breach off into surrounding areas. So we'll cover Driglington, Gildersham, Beeston, Cottingley. We go out as far as Tingley and East Ardsley. So I think when we did initially, based on school logos, I think we had about 30 schools, if not more, that we had the logoed stuff for.
Yeah.
But obviously we have buckets of the generic stuff.
Yeah.
So we have had people come to us from all over Leeds, because we have, like you say, our location makes us so accessible. So we have helped people from postcodes outside of our area when we do our pop-up shops. We're not picky, we don't care where you come from. We have a grandma that actually collects for her daughter who lives down south and gives it to her when they're visiting, just as long as it doesn't go to landfill is our motto, really.
Yeah, exactly. So to give people a bit of a picture, you know, we obviously have a lot of generic uniforms, so that's just, you know, the stuff without a logo, red, green and blue sweatshirts, all of that stuff. But you have a lot of logoed items, and for some families, they're the ones that they particularly struggle to afford, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So we'll have the logo jumpers, the logo cardigans. The one that we do struggle with, and it sounds daft when we say we have hundreds of items, is the high school uniform.
Yeah.
And I think that's across the board is high school uniform. Tracy will back me up on this. There isn't the quantity of it out there to pass on.
No.
As a parent, I know I've not bought my high school children as much uniform, and you tend to wear it till it dies.
Yeah.
So we do struggle with that, because that is the really expensive one.
Yeah.
We would love to be able to, we recycle anything that can't go out again, we recycle. So we have ladies who make patterns out of the shirts to make little dresses. We turn school trousers and skirts into rag blankets for pets. Our ultimate dream would be to turn the logo badges into badges for you to sew on. We just haven't worked out how to do that yet. Because that's our ultimate goal, would be if you could just have a logo badge, and then all this generic stuff we've got would become logoed.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mean, and you're absolutely right there. So that's a call out to people of secondary school age children to have a look through and see if there's anything they can donate. But I was completely in exactly the same position. By the time my daughter was at last year of secondary, I had one jumper and one skirt. And when they're in primary, you've got loads, because they come home filthy every day, don't they? But yeah, so it's a fact there isn't as much secondary school uniform. But anybody who's got some in the back of cupboards and drawers, if you can get it out, go on our website, find out how to donate it, that would be great. And then Tracy, you run a school uniform exchange in your local area. So talk us through how it works for you as someone who runs an exchange.
Well, basically, it's all down to people donating uniform to us. It was so simple to start. I literally just got one. I had a spare bin that I put outside the front door. And within weeks, my back room was absolutely covered with uniform. And it was just a matter of sorting through it. Anything that was damaged or discoloured or whatever, that went into a rag bag. And in fact, I took over 8 bags over to Jenny last week. So she then recycles that rather than it going into the textile banks. She recycles it even more before it gets to the textile banks, which is amazing. And then I basically just label it all up, put it into some sort of order. And then I'm so lucky that I've got premises that I open one day a week, and people come and they get what they need. Or like they do with Jenny, they get in contact with them through the Facebook or email and say, have you got this? And, you know, we'll pull it out, put it in a bag and arrange collection. And it's really just all about that. But again, as Jenny said, there is actually more stuff coming in than there is going out. So I've got loads and loads of things, and the schools are really getting on board with it, which is great, because I found that my local schools, they don't want to hold on to the uniform themselves. They don't have the space, the capacity, so they sort of, any lost property comes my way. And I've recently been doing a couple of parents' evenings. So just gone with a whole load of stock, and people are quite happy to come and take it there. And it reaches parents that might not know about me through Facebook or whatever. It lets me reach them as well. And it's been a huge success. I've only been running it for a year, and it's just been amazing. I've already given out over 3,000 items. And it's just obvious that it's needed now more than ever, not just environmentally, but it does help families who have, more than 2 children. It gets really expensive. I think we worked it out, wasn't it, £348 or something like that for a uniform per child. I mean, that probably does include coats and shoes and whatever, but it's an astronomical amount of money. And when you start going into logo items, like high schools at the minute, they just expect logos on absolutely everything, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it gets really, really expensive. So these exchanges really helps people to get spares as well. It's not just about money. It's also that they need the spares. And also I found as well that there's families that are obviously divorced, and they have children that are living in 2 houses, 2 family units, and they almost need double the amount of uniform. So that helps them out there as well. But environmentally, it's amazing. To keep it out of landfill is great, and the CO2 emissions as well that we're saving by keeping it out of landfill or having people to buy new. It is amazing. And with the COP26 we had recently, it's in the news, isn't it, that we need to reduce our carbon emissions.
Exactly. So, I think you can't escape COP26 in the news at the minute. And, we need to make the most of these next 2 weeks. But I think more than ever, it's in people's minds, isn't it, that we've all got a part to play when it comes to being more sustainable. It's not just about looking to government or local government. It's about what we can all do. And actually, clothing has a massive carbon impact. And it's something we all need, and school uniform is something that all of our children need. I think there are 8.5 million children needing school uniform. So it's a universal thing, and it's something where we can all make a difference. And what's clear from what you both said is how much really good quality secondhand uniform there is out there to be used, and it's free. So it's saving, it's contributing to us all being more sustainable. It's saving families lots of money, which, lots of families have really, really struggled during the pandemic for every reason. There are thousands more children on free school meals, so that, that this is like, if you can get school uniform, which might cost you £350 a child, whatever it is, if you can get that for free, that's money in your back pocket, isn't it, for other things in your life. And that, and that might be other essentials. It might be rent and utilities and food. But some families, I know, Tracy, when we were doing the pop-up events, one family said to you that they were using the money they'd saved to have a family trip, which they'd not had for years.
And years. And she was so delighted that she was going to be able to finally take her kids for a day out. And I mean, that makes it so much more worthwhile that, it's actually going towards the family to do something fun. It's not just to pay a bill. It's actually to bring the family together and do something fun together. So
and I mean, the demand is there. So over the summer across Leeds there were 44 pop-up events, and over 8,500 items of uniform given out, saving families 140 odd £1,000 we worked out. I mean, Tracy and I worked in one pop-up event in Hare Hills, and there were a queue of families outside the door when we arrived, and in 4 hours we had 76 families through the door and gave away 900 items of uniform, which is just incredible. So number one, there's a mountain of it out there. It's it's quality checked. The stuff that's not good enough to be passed on, we can recycle, we can do something with all of that. But there's tons of it out there, but there's also a massive demand. And I think what we're what is really lovely about Leeds School Uniform Exchange is that it's a city coming together to share an existing resource. So there are so many people out there who've got uniform in the back of the cupboards and drawers. They can, you know, they can participate in this by sharing that. And then there are loads of families who would rather than go and buy something new that, you know, will have a lot of synthetic material. A lot of that is using natural resources, like crude oil is part of the ingredients for making polyester, if you like. So we're being more sustainable, we're saving money. And the thing is, why wouldn't you? Because we've now got 250 odd exchanges across the whole of Leeds. So there has to be one near you. You know, go and pick this stuff up for free. So if I can I'll do a quick screen share so that we can show people what Leeds School Uniform Exchange website looks like. And that's the best place to look. So the web address is Leeds Uniform Exchange, not Leeds School Uniform Exchange, because it's actually a bit long. So Leeds Uniform Exchange. And you'll click onto our website, which, if I've done this right, and I'm not going to have, am I, naturally? Let's have a look. It's there. No, it's not there. I can't see because it's above the let's just go to it here. So type in Leeds Uniform Exchange. Here it is at the top of the list, and you come on to our very first page, which there were some lovely photographs that we had taken of children in Leeds, and you come on to this first page, and it could not be easier. So if you want to find an exchange near you, you could click on this button here, and it takes you to this page here. So we've got a map here, which is, you can see all of the uniform exchanges, and this hopefully shows you, these are the ones that are based at schools, here the yellow ones. Facebook are all the online exchanges, and here the purple ones are all the community-based exchanges. So you can see here down the left-hand side the number of schools, Facebook pages, and community schemes. And you can either search by your local area or by school. So if I put in LS17, let's have a look at what comes up. And then you follow it down. So we've got LS17 clothing, uniform, and costume exchange. How great is that for Halloween that we've just passed? Maybe check that out for Christmas as well. So you can see there, that's on Facebook there. You can find out loads more information about it. A map comes up, it tells you exactly how to get in touch and how to access it. So you can click straight through to there. We've got Wigton Moor School, so that's Facebook as well, but that's obviously parents or of the school or the school that have set up a Facebook group. What's amazing about the online exchanges is that just really self-organizing. You click onto it, and some of them are groups rather than pages. So some of them you have to join as a member. If we just give it, we'll just have a look here what comes up. So that shows you that it's a Facebook group, and you can see what's being advertised there. Some lovely school shoes, which are expensive. Those lovely patent. Do you remember, your children go through phases, don't they? My daughter's desperate for patent shoes when she was about 6. And then, you know, so you can see here what people have got to offer, and it's just great. So you can put on there if you've got something to offer, if you've got something to donate, but you can also, we see people put posts on saying, I really need this. Has anybody got anything? And what's amazing about those posts is because all what this does is opens up the opportunity for people to support each other, which they naturally really want to do. So you put on there, I'm desperate for a pair of trousers because, you know, my son's come home with a huge hole in, and people will, they're very generous and they will try and find what you need. So we're back here on the page. So we've actually got a good few covering the LS17 area. We've got Shadwell Primary, Allerton CV, Allerton Grange, Bardsey Primary. So you can see the breadth of what's on offer here. In fact, there's another page for LS17 schools. We've got, loads of Facebook examples there. If we put, let's go back to the map and put LS27 in, which is Jenny's area. Oh, he's not coming up, Tracy. Oh,
yeah, it might be that it's coming up more as the name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. We might have to, oh, there we are. There's Fresh Start there.
Yeah.
And the reason why there's a little Facebook logo there as well, you can see it's purple, so it explains to you that it's a community scheme. But the reason why there's a Facebook logo there is because people can get in touch with you through Facebook, can't they, Jenny? And people can do that as and when they need uniform.
Yeah, we have a Facebook page that obviously advertises all the other things that we do, but that does get through to the ladies that manage our uniform exchange, so people can message us whenever throughout the year, because you never know when you will need more school uniform.
And what you can do here from the map, if you just find the area that you're looking for and click on, let's see what that one brings us up. So that's bringing up Bramley's Church of England Primary School. So you can do it like, there's numerous ways of searching for what you need. And you might find different things. You might find there's one at your school. You might find it's a community group and you need to just get in touch with them to find out when their next pop-up event is. So if we go back to the first page and we have a look at donating school uniform, that's a button that takes you to a similar thing. So it's just, again, to find out the places where you can also donate, not just where you can pick uniform up. And then here in the pop-up shop button, we have all the information about up and coming pop-up shops. So some of them are regular weekly things like Xarax every Tuesday. It tells you exactly where they are, Holbeck Together. And then we have up and coming pop-up shops. So some of these are shops that will be happening during the next school holidays. It's Christmas holidays now. Crikey, can't believe we're talking about Christmas, but yeah. So we've got, and then it just gives you an idea of what we did over the summer, just to show how busy and how vibrant school uniform exchanging is in Leeds. And it's just, I think it would be fair to say, Tracy, that it absolutely, I mean, we've worked so hard on this now for a year and a half, whatever it is, but I think that people in Leeds have just really bought into it, really stepped up and just been an amazing support for the exchanges, haven't they?
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, this summer was absolutely amazing. How many people, the footfall was just tremendous. So,
yeah.
And it was obvious that it was needed as well. So, and I think now from those pop-up shops, we've had a few more community schemes that have come up and said, actually, we want to start doing this. I mean, I've helped with at least 2 or 3 since the summer to set some up. So it's obvious, particularly with the community projects that they and the community hubs, that they think this is actually something we need to do.
And you're happy to share, aren't you, Jenny? So you've got mountains of uniform, and what you're happy to do is, if someone wants to set up a community scheme, we can help with that as well, by the way. So if you are interested in setting up a uniform exchange in your community, we can help by having a green wheelie bin delivered that you can put outside to gather donations in. But if you wanted a bit of a kickstart, some stock to get you up and cracking, Tracy's been very good at moving it around the city, and Jenny, you've got plenty that you could maybe help out with, haven't you?
Oh yes, definitely. If anybody's thinking of running their own one, we'll gladly provide them with some stuff to start them off. Yeah. We're definitely not short of things we can donate. We work closely with some of the local schools, like Tracy says, they want to be able to offer it, but they can't store it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if anybody wants to set up one, or if ones that are already set up are struggling for something in particular, we're keen to hear from anybody that's struggling for anything. And if we've got an abundance of it, then obviously we will gladly share it, because we'd rather get it out there and have a new home than it be sat in our storeroom.
And we've set up a WhatsApp group, haven't we, Tracy, to facilitate that?
Yeah, Jenny's on that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got all of the community exchanges on that WhatsApp group, and they're busy helping and supporting each other. So someone might have a shout out for, you know, running out of red sweatshirts or whatever, and there'll be someone else in the network who can help that out. So if you want to get involved, here's our page that gives you everything you need to know about that. So could you set up a scheme? Do you want to, I mean, Facebook and WhatsApp is great. So if you were a parent who, you know, you don't have a spare room to put thousands of items of school uniform, like Tracy has done, and you want to just set up a Facebook or a WhatsApp group around your local school, invite your friends at the school, get them to invite their friends, tell the school all about it as well if you're doing something. We've got all the information that you will need to help set that up. So we've got these guides here, and they are really detailed, and it's not, we're not trying to, you know, we're not trying to make it look complicated, because setting up a WhatsApp or Facebook group is really not complicated. But we just wanted to include everything that you need to consider before you start, and the things that you might want to do going forward, because sometimes it takes a while to get these groups up and running. So you have to be, as an administrator, for example, of a Facebook page, you just have to be a bit proactive maybe. We can help with that as well. So you can also always get in touch with Tracy at zerowasteleeds.org.uk, and she can send you out. So what, sorry?
Tracy without an E.
Tracy without an E, yes. And we've got loads of resources, things like social media cards and things that Tracy can let you have, so you can share those on your Facebook. But so again, we're not trying to make it complicated. We're just trying to share everything that we know, having sort of done this ourselves. So that's the guide for that. And then if you're a school, or like Jenny, you want to set up a community exchange, there's a guide also for that, and that is very detailed, because there are different considerations there, like storing donations, sorting donations. The thing about Facebook and WhatsApp is it's self-organizing. People just put on there what they've got, and people, you know, say, well, I'll take it, I'll pick it up from you or whatever, and people just crack on with that. But when it's a school or community exchange, there are other things to consider, like, you know, who's going to do, where are you going to put the collections, who's going to do the sorting, who's going to do the quality control, what are you going to do with your waste, where are you going to store it, when are you going to put it out, how are you going to advertise it. So again, we've just tried to pack this guide with absolutely everything you're ever going to want to know. And, you know, Tracy and Jenny have both absolutely lived all of that. So all of their experiences is in there, and it's really easy to get involved, and really rewarding. I mean, I would say, you know, my one full day at the Uniform Exchange in Hare Hills over the summer was just one of my best days in that summer. My daughter came with me. She was counting the number of people through the door, chatting away to everybody. You know, you're in the thick of it, in your community, meeting people, understanding things about their lives and getting to know them, and just, you know, making sure they've got what they need for the kids to get the best out of school. I mean, sure, Jenny, you'll have found that when you're in the shop, and I've been to your shop when there's been a queue wrapped around the building.
Oh, I mean, when we first started, we have never had a queue around our building. People walk past our building and wonder who we are. So from that perspective, it blew us away, that meeting the different people. One thing I'd say is just have a go. If you like the concept of it, have a go. Don't be frightened. We've gained some brilliant volunteers who happen to be walking past. They don't have children, but they walked past and saw what we were doing and were interested in knowing what it was all about. They saw the buzz, and now they come regularly and help out in the charity shop, as well as helping out with our pop-up shops when we need more hands on deck. But yeah, the stories you get told, the people you help, it can't do anything but affect you, and you definitely go home feeling like you've done something really worthwhile. Yeah, and it's really where you see how we are coming together to, you know, to do this, to just be generous as a city, to share the resources that we've got with all of the donations that people are,
you know, really kindly make to it. And then all of the people that we see you benefit from it at the other end. And it's not all just about affordability, financial affordability. I mean, you know, it can save you a lot of money. And if you've got, you know, more than one child, if it's £350 a child and you've got 3 children and that expense comes all at once over the summer holidays, oh my goodness, you are saving a lot of money there. But you're also doing your bit, you know, for the environment. Because I think a lot of people may be watching all of this information about COP26 and thinking, well, that's all fine, but what, you know, what does that mean to me? What can I do? Where's my part in this? And actually, your part in this could be by just getting involved in Leeds School Uniform Exchange and donating and using second-hand school uniform, because there's mountains of it. You do not need to go and buy it from the supermarket. You can pick it up locally to you, which is just fantastic. Yeah.
And I think as well, we need to say the quality of the stuff that we're getting. Some of them I've still got tags on. They've never been worn. They're still on the hangers, you know, whatever. So it's not just, it is secondhand because it has come from somebody's house that haven't used it, but it's not necessarily ever even been worn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you pick up some amazing things, you really do. And like some of the jumpers, they just hardly look like they've even been worn or washed, or you know, they're in great condition. And I mean, like we always say about those summer gingham dresses, I mean, they are indestructible. Yeah, they last years and years.
Just go on forever, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. So we just need to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get involved, get in touch. I'm going to give your email address out again, Tracy. Your inbox is going to be jam packed. Tracy without an E at zerowasteleeds.org.uk. And Jenny, you're at Fresh Start Community Projects on Facebook, and your charity shop is open 3 days a week. Which 3 days are they?
Yeah, we're open Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 10 till 2.
Yeah, brilliant. So pop in. I've been in, amazing things. I got a really beautiful summer dress from your shop, and what I noticed as well is you've got lots of toys. So Christmas is coming up, so in the spirit of, you know, generosity, sharing things around the city, you don't always have to buy new. Your children are young, they don't care.
Yeah,
call into your local charity shop, call into Jenny's shop and see what they've got. And again, sustainable, and save yourself a fortune. Thanks so much, ladies. That's a really great chat.
Sorry, they've got plenty of Christmas jumpers as well.
Oh, Christmas jumpers as well. Oh, don't get me started. I'm going to get mine out again this year. It's going to be its 3rd year. It took me that long to make it in year 1 that I'm literally going to have to wear it for the rest of my life. So, yeah, Christmas jumpers. Lovely. Great note to finish on. Thanks so much, ladies.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.